Another painting video. That spook response video thing. So yeah, different camera, hopefully better positioned, but lighting might be, who knows. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So anyway, I got the basic idea of Das Spook's drawing, and so I'll try not to make a mess out of it. But yeah, I'm just going to do my version of it. It's just going to be whatever it is. So this is just for practice for me, essentially. And I just thought it might be interesting, but I'm not trying to trespass on anything. But I just thought the whole conversation could be interesting. This canvas has some defects in it. It's an old painting that I've covered over. So anyway, enough of that. So, subject matter. There's lots of different subjects. I mean, people have raised some different points that I'd like to respond to, but I'll have to choose a subject. But anyway, I'll go with the subject of the video, the painting so far, just because, you know. So, the Das Spook lives in Utah apparently now, and Mormons. I don't know if that's one of the reasons why he's doing a religiously themed painting, but it's an interesting theme. It's got some interesting elements to it. So there is a, you know, Jeebus up here. So I was thinking of making him kind of a Jeebus, still hanging on the cross a little bit. You know, like his arms are out there. Yeah, I just thought that'd be kind of like Franken Jesus or something. Yeah, that might be interesting. So he'll be somewhere in here doing his little Jeebus thing. You know, but, so I mean, I guess I could just make some cracks about the whole concept of Jesus. So I'll put him in the middle just to make the thing more coherent. And then there's going to be like hell down here. It's going to be this guy getting pulled out of hell. So I barely remember him. I remember he was getting, so he's like about here. Yeah. And so I have to put the other guy about here. So yeah, we'll just make this the sword then. Make this the guy's sword. And that'll give me some sort of reference. And he's scraping off the barnacles of hell off the guy who's getting rescued from hell. And so this is an archangel over here. So apparently you'd have an arm attached to the sword. And he'd go somewhere like up here. And his head would be about here, say. Somewhere in there. And let's see, his other arm would be doing something, and then his wings would be out here. Like that, something like that. And and he's doing some sort of, you know, he's probably wearing a skirt. I mean, people in the Bible wear skirts a lot. But he's doing this, legs are, I'll put a foot here, so the legs are kind of, you know, squatty kind of position. So we'll see what we can do with that. Yeah. I don't know, I guess this arm could just be doing balancing things. Okay, and the sword's doing its mighty swording thing. Oh yeah, this arm has to be pulling the hair, so this arm has to somehow reach down here. I don't know exactly how it's going to do that. But anyway, it's pulling the hairs of the guy getting barnacle scraped, who's down here. He's getting dragged out of hell, and in some form or other. You know, going to be in some sort of messy shape. And, you know, no doubt, something like that. And then there's some other angel-y, woman-y thing hanging out over here. You know, something like, remember it had boobs. I remember that part. Yeah. Somewhere like that, and then it's going to have wings again, the wing thing. And we'll put this pussy in there. Yeah. And then there's going to be some sort of hell down here. So, well, I don't have the, didn't have much of it, didn't have a drawing of the hell yet, so I have to invent the hell. So I'll invent the hell. Maybe I'll put some more water on here. Oh God, my back is terrible. I haven't even started shoveling snow yet. My back is a mess. Ugh, I'm having trouble. But whatever, I'm always in some sort of trouble. Maybe we'll use orange for fire, right? Orange and yellow. Yeah, it'd probably be good to have some sort of like hell should have a, yeah, maybe I'll make a post. Maybe we need some white on there. Maybe thick paint. And yeah, put the fire. Yeah, there'll be like flames coming up off the, like an oil rig or something. Yeah, that might be interesting. So, you know, a few of those like columny things. Yeah, maybe I'll make some columns. That'll be a good idea. And there'll be some sort of characters down here, no doubt, doing some sort of writhing and hearting, anguishing. Maybe just an anguish. Maybe an anguish person here. Let's just put something like, it's maybe just a face. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe just do a face in here. That kind of thing. Like some person's anguished face. Something like that. Okay, that's the mouth there. And yeah, that's pretty anguished. Yeah, so, oh yeah, this looks like a painting already. I get this totally. Not entirely. So then I'll have to have some sort of cloud-like things, I guess. So let's see if I can do something with that. Maybe a bigger brush. Ooh. I have to have a dividing line between the hell section and the not hell section. So that'll have to be something. Yeah, see, I don't know if there's going to be something in there, so I don't want to trespass too much on it, but you figure there's got to be some sort of something going on in here. It'll be something like clouds or something. Yeah, some sort of idea of it. Oops. Got my cloud backwards, but that's okay. I can always enhance it later. And I don't know why I did them the same height. That probably was not a brilliant idea. Yeah, I'll just put one behind the angel. Dark one. That'll be way too even. That's okay for now. Until I get the ethereal blah blah blah. And this will probably be something green over down here, right? Need some green in here, so we'll just have some idea that there's something between heaven and hell. And that's some sort of earthly crapola down here, maybe. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, some idea of earth and hell connected. Yeah. What else? Yeah, that's about all I got out of his painting so far. So, I probably should have waited till he started painting it, but being the impatient asshole that I am, I didn't. And let's see where it goes. This guy should have a message tied to him of some kind. Ooh, maybe put a yarmulke on him. Yeah, the Jews are in hell. Yeah, that would be pretty good, right? With a little yarmulke on. Yeah. That might be rude, Gary. That might get you in trouble. No, we won't worry about it yet. We don't know what it's going to be. I have no idea till we do it, right? So there's no point in anybody getting panicked yet. Yeah. This face is going to need a lot of work. It's not going to mess of it here. Let's make it a smaller face. It'll be a face once I fix it. Yes, just fill it in. Yeah, that's a good idea. And we can fix it. That's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Might be a good idea. Yeah, you know, I'm not pre-drawing any of this, so it may not work actually. Because I may not be quite. I might make quite a mess of it. Yeah, just make his head big. I just keep making his head bigger, and then I can get around any problems. Yeah, that's the way to go. I can always put black over things too. Yeah, fixing that way. Yeah, let me make some sort of flesh color or something, I guess. Some sort of something like it anyway. I would imagine this guy's face will be showing. Got way too big a neck now. The shoulders be here. He's probably going to be wearing something. Maybe we'll just put torn clothes on. Yeah, something tattered. And, yeah, some, I don't know. Put some feathers in here. The idea of it anyway. Yeah. And they might work. I'll just sort of have to wait and see. Oh, okay, I should talk about something, I suppose. Instead of talking about painting it, I should be talking about something else. But see, I knew that was a danger when I started this. That's okay. Alright, so the subject of religion, I just don't have much to say. You know, it's especially the Christian style religions, you know, I mean, not that the newly invented religions are any better, because they're really not. Alright, so the face will be somewhere in here. And such. He's probably going to be wearing some sort of white thingy here of some kind. Like one of them archangel skirts or something. Some sort of baggy little dress wear. And you know, shorts. So I guess I'll have naked legs anyway. And such. Maybe the arm's probably going to be white, but that's okay. Fleshy for now. And put a t-shirt on him, right? T-shirt's good. Yeah, I don't hate that. That's okay. Alright, it's done. Yeah, I'm finished, right? Yeah. Oh, I can't hold this thing. It's going to kill my back. Anyway, alright, I'm sorry. I'm not really saying anything important. Paint. Yellow tube. Where are you? Yellow. Looks like yellow. I found some more yellow paint, which is cool. I don't have any. Oh, but I don't have any red either. I need some more red. Silly colors in here. I don't know what this stuff is. Not really red, but what the hell? It's close enough. Pink color. Alright, where was I? So let's see, well, some sort of brown, I guess. At least brown is what it came out as, so we'll go with it. Alright, so we gotta do something more with this guy here. Yeah, we gotta do a lot more with this. And the sword is gonna be, it's a little bit off. Yeah, it's in the wrong place. Well, it's alright. I'll pretend it's already scraped off some shit. Just put the shit like coming off of the guy, scraping off the scales. That's the thing. We're just gonna cover this guy with scales anyway, or something. Some sort of green scales or something, right? Okay, I really did have some stuff to talk about. I really did. I mean, I don't know where it all went, but I know I did have some stuff to talk about. Let me think for a second. What was it? Communication? No, that wasn't it. Did that subject already. That's how I want to do this. Yeah, I want to get the position right. So I'm just trying to think. Can I make this wing this smaller wing, I guess? Have it bend forward. And you have this wing. The bigger wing might should go this way, I guess. And this way. I don't know, that ain't quite right. I'll worry about that later. So anyway, back to the what? This angle is not right. Something like that. Angels are fucked up. Angels are fake. They're not real. And that's the whole point here. None of this stuff is real. None of it has anything to do with life on Earth and the kind of sad world we live in terms of the mechanisms and control. Okay. That's too long a foot there. Yeah, well, we'll just wipe that out then. Going that away, maybe. Looking for the next victim, whatever they would be called. Next candidate for extraction from hell. And I don't know what these arms will be doing. I'll put them in. And such. And then we'll put some yellow hair or something just so we can distinguish one from the other. Where's the yellow? Yeah. Yeah, that worked out well. Forget about it. Oh yeah, this Michael. This one is usually a blonde. Michael, Saint Michael, or whatever the fuck he is. Ah, there. I was waiting for that. See what it is. Timing wise, maybe I have a more important project coming up. The hell's gonna need a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of work. Let's see. I'm gonna have to push it back for tomorrow. I called to work today. I don't know. Before. whatever color on here for the hell of it. Alright, now what else do I need to do? I need to probably do something else. I need to come up with more conversations, what I need to do. So probably I could put little clouds up here. Little Jesus floating on a little cloud. Clouds get further away as you go back here. Further away. And yes, that's tiny little clouds. Some sort of perspective thing, you see. They get bigger and then they get smaller. And something like that. And such. Whoops. So I have a tendency to put things on the same line. It's a bad habit of mine. Gotta break that. Something like that. Alright, so let's work on, what part can we work on? We could work on, I don't know about this hell thing. I think I'll just put some fire in hell and leave it at that for now. Alright, so where was I? I know I was going to say something important, I just haven't done it. It just needs some sort of, like, rivers of hell. Maybe that's when it's like a river of hell. Yeah, I don't think so. It does need something. It needs some kind of, some sort of black, red, and orangey thing. Yeah. I don't think I'll bother trying to do the face thing until I figure out what I want to do. Seems like a good plan, Gary. Yeah, that looks like hell. Perfect. It looks like hell. Yeah, maybe just a lot of noise. Hell would be noise. I like a bunch of spaghetti. Like hell would be spaghetti. Sticky spaghetti. You could never get loose from the sticky spaghetti. Maybe that'll work. Hell is sticky spaghetti. Yeah. Hell is bulging with ghostly smells. Yeah, those are odors. Yeah, the odor. Ooh, the smell of hell. Yeah, that might work actually. I'll have to think some more on it. I think that'll work. Yeah, so you have to think some more, Gary. This vision is not much of a vision for that. Okay, I'll go back to something, right? I'm sorry, I'm just not. I have a theme in my head, and I just lost it somewhere in the process. And so I should have just, did the subject thing and had a subject in my head and stayed with that instead of messing around. Probably should have done that, Gary. I don't know what to do with this guy. Probably should have some sort of clothes, but they gotta be like ragged. Alright, let's see what to do with the green thing here. I'll put some grass over here, maybe. Yeah, grass. Yeah, that's easy. Okay, I like that. Leafy stuff. Yeah, that'll make it simple. Just leafy shit. No rock. Let's make a rock. shifting over into the green. That might be cool. Yeah, I gotta get more colors on my palette. Alright. Well, that really is quite horrible. Anyway, so, yeah, this really is quite horrible. Alright, maybe I'll just cut this one short until I'm better themed. Yeah, probably a good idea. Probably is a good idea. I know what I'm doing. I'll do it in pieces, maybe. Yeah, give me some time to think about it. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Alright, it's a good idea. I can go with that. Alright, so, yeah, I'll be back. I'll just put the two videos together. Something like that. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, a day later. Yeah, so, I really don't get to things. Busy and such. So, yeah, we're back. So I've been thinking about this thing. I did watch Das Spook's newer video, and he still seems kind of gripey, about this whole project. So I'm just saying, maybe not. So maybe I'll do my own painting and just forget about this idea. But it wouldn't hurt for me to do some more practicing with this painting, and maybe I'll play along later. As he starts painting, I'll decide to do something with this. But yeah, I mean, we don't have much to really talk about. He's kind of rigid in his perception, and I'm certainly rigid in mine. So I don't think there's going to be much for us to say. So yeah, yeah, I just think that's, yeah, I think we just call it a day. He's just kind of, it's not that it's rude, but yeah, I mean, he's got the extraordinary claims, and he seems to apply no reasonable, in my opinion. You need to be a little bit more humble when you're in that position, frankly, and he's not. So fuck it. It's I don't. There's been no victories here, as they say. So what's the point? It's kind of a waste of time to argue positions that, in my opinion, are unreasonable. And it's just plainly unreasonable to say, I personally experienced, some sort of special circumstance, alien visitations, whatnot, and I'm going to call somebody else's beliefs unreasonable or outrageous or ludicrous or whatever his rhetoric is. I just think that's, frankly, yeah, just frankly, you can't do that. You can't. That's asking way too much. So anyway, we'll see. Maybe there's, maybe I'm just having a mood myself. I'm just not in the mood for, defending myself, so to speak, and that's what it comes down to, some sort of personal defense. I'm not interested in that at all. So, yeah, the hell with that. Yeah, and this, obviously this theme of this religious thing, I mean, I was thinking of different, I mean, it was funny how he did the puppet Jesus, I think I did mention that, I was thinking of strings, being attached to Jesus. I don't know whether I did that in the last video, but yeah, and then I thought about the idea of stringing everything, yeah, just a thought. And then I was thinking about, trying to make this into something I could relate to, which doesn't seem likely. Yeah, so this guy's supposed to be pulled up by his hand, but I thought it would be more interesting if he was pulled up by his hair. So that's what I was doing. You know, just because I figured that you could just put long hair on them, because that's what, you know, in hell they would be growing long hair because they wouldn't have razors in hell. Yeah, right. So anybody who'd been in hell for a while would have pretty long hair. Yeah, that would be my guess. So that was how I was looking at it. And you know, what else I want to say about that? But yeah, I like the idea of just, you know, I want to do some painting from mental conceptions, you know, rather than looking up references. You know, I want to try to do it from what my brain says it would look like, and just see how far I get. But I was thinking of doing, you know, a theme that's more interesting to me, something more along the anti-natalist kind of theme, maybe. So I did have some ideas, and I'm saying, well, maybe I'll work on that too. So I do have different paintings to work on, so I think that's what I'll do, is I'll work on different paintings each time I do this, and maybe I'll do 2 paintings in one video, you know, just for the fun of it. You know, just to, you know, because I do find, you know, I need to do some more painting, just to refine my ability, because I have gone fallow for a while, and but in a way I think that makes you more perceptive. So I'm thinking I should be able to do something quite interesting, I believe, just because the time off, I think, has made me more conscious of what I'm trying to do with paint. You know, what painting is in a, you know, and so Das Spook, like I say, he's more into this whole, like there's something spiritual even in the act of expressions like painting or poetry or something else. He would claim that these aren't expressions of our programming, you know, of some personal experience, personal. Great thing about wearing old pants all the time is I can clean the brush on the pants. Yeah, it was already so bad. So what do I want to say? Yeah, that there's something, you know, like a picture is worth 1,000 words, which I wouldn't disagree that you can interpret things a lot of different ways. But the truth is, there is a mindset behind every stroke, so to speak. There's a process that goes on in the mind, in the brain, when somebody's creating, where they're saying, yeah, that's the idea, that's sort of where I want to head, it's, you know, that's the idea of it. They're basically refining and editorializing as they're doing it. So it's not a magical process. It's a mental process. It's not a process that comes from some spiritual plane. It's a process that comes from an understanding of how to the mechanical skill, number one, is just practice makes perfect in a sense. You do it enough times and you know what tricks, you know what the liabilities are, the danger zones of where things go wrong and how to avoid the wrong. And so it's a thought process, and I just think it's crap to sit there and imply or suggest that it's something other than an acquired skill, and it's not acquired through a magical process or communing with the universe or some other bullshit. It's acquired, you know, through a very mechanical, deliberate brain function of attempting to, you know, understand what it is you're trying to do, and then, you know, being able to manifest that, you know, in this media, and so, you know, we just so fundamentally disagree that yeah, I just don't know if there's much point in trying to belabor what is a pretty substantial lack of agreement. I don't think I want it there. Actually, it's got to go down a bit. That was a boo-boo. Yeah, we just don't agree on what this process is, and so we can't even talk about the art, without in a way stepping on each other. So we're philosophically kind of stalemated, and then I think we're artistically and creatively stalemated also. So I just don't think there's much of anything productive that could take place by me attempting to have these videos have much to say to Das Spook in the production of these videos. Yeah, I'm really not interested in going over the same old tired ground of what I see as just the human faculty or capacity to keep pretending they're doing something meaningful, when they're not. When humans aren't doing anything, there's no, it's all emotionalism, and that's all it is. It's preaching a story, it's telling a story, and that's all there is to this crap. We're not doing anything else but storytelling, narrative telling, trying to say something to each other in some sort of manner that the other person might be able to relate to. But there is no there's no bigger picture, there's no grander mission statement. It's just humans playing the human game out. We're just animals, and we're emotional and needy and ego driven, and all of those things that I've talked about a million times, and we're not doing anything that merits all this aggrandizement of this bigger story of spiritualism, let's make it all sound like it's more to it. There isn't more to it. It's all just bullshit. It's all just a pile of crap we tell ourselves to make ourselves feel like we're doing something, to feel what's the word I'm looking for? To embiggen our story, and to make it more whatever, Jedi or whatever the appropriate metaphor would be. Something that just is doing something that, not heroic necessarily, but valuable. To create the illusion of a value state, a value condition, and it's just not in the cards. I mean, we can just wish the fact that we can gain value through some other mechanism than recognizing obvious frailties in our let's see, maybe I was just thinking of having the angel going, oh, and saying something while they're saving people from the depths of hell. That looks like it's got a Hitler mustache. That's pretty good. Put a Hitler mustache on the angel. That would be pretty cool. Who could dislike that? And zombie eyeballs. Yeah, I like that. Zombie eyes. Obviously, these detailed work will need some work, and that'll come later. yes, I don't want to spend too much time on this because, like I said, the theme isn't really going to go anywhere for me. But I like the idea of the practice. I like the idea that I definitely need something to practice on in terms of doing some of this painting, stylized painting thing. So I really think I'll be able to do something with that idea in mind. I like this idea too of glopping paint. I want to do some glops. I want to do some thick gloppy painting. And I'm just working with a real simple palette right at the moment, just to get this is like an underpainting. So I'm just going to try to get some contrast in, some idea of where I'm heading for in terms of a where it's going to end up eventually with more more detail and such. So this is this is just getting the idea, the shape of things, and so I don't really have any color here. That's representative of what the reality will be. I have to figure out what kind of shoes I'm going to put on an angel. I mean, bare feet doesn't seem quite right to me, but maybe that's the way to go. And a little funky robe. I don't know if that's quite right either, but we'll see. The idea of lifting the weight seems like an interesting idea to give the sense of a weight being lifted, to lift somebody out of hell. That's gotta put a knee in there somewhere. I've got very fat knees here. Some sort of mark for the impending thigh knee exchange and the reduction of the fins. Anyway, I need some definite work. What else is there to say? So, I don't know how much time I got left. There's only 25 minutes left on the camera, I think, so there's probably not a whole lot of time left. So this guy's going to be a little bit sleepy, I think. Sleepy kind of person. And I was thinking of scales, so that part I did like about what that spook was going. So the idea of, a person in hell would be covered in scales. So, like a reptile or something. Can give them like reptile skin. So I think that might be interesting. So we'll just give the idea of that so I have it in my brain. And I'm basically heading for scales eventually. Even scales need to be drawn correctly. They don't have to be too correct though, right? That's right. Yeah, and so I could have some of the scales flying off and just imply that the sword is knocking the scales loose. So just have some scales flying off. So I like that theme. That might be something we'll go somewhere. Yeah, so I like that scale idea. So we'll go with that. And I sort of like this idea of, the earth over here and hell being connected to the earth. It's all the same kind of thing, and you have this other world that isn't much of an improvement. Some idea of its dysfunction, I guess I'd like to put in here, some implication of the theater of it. Like have the woman here with, maybe have really saggy boobs on her, like a 90-year-old angel or something, and just demonstrating that this story is getting old. It's just not going to go anywhere. It's just a crappy same old kind of crap story. That there's some sort of paradise, but the paradise doesn't have any shape or form. It doesn't really mean anything. It just seems like something they made up. I was thinking too, maybe one of these angels would give, you know, bat wings to it instead of feathered wings. So yeah, I don't know if it'll, maybe not the girl, you know, the woman, the whatever she's going to be, the mother angel, yeah, yeah, the mother bitch. Yeah, I think it, you know, it'd be appropriate to have wings on, so maybe I'll make another angel that's more lizardy, and yeah, go from there. It's getting these wings too is got to be, I think I have to go this way and then down that way, maybe that'll work. Yeah, I like the idea of squaring it off a little, like it's hovering, so there would be some proportionality to the wingspan. I think that'll work, and the wings are like overlapping. The front, the light wing is overlapping, you know, the back wing. So there'd be a front wing and a back wing. You know, like that. So put a little marker on there. So what else can I say? To finish up here. But like I said, I do have some ideas, so I'll get another canvas started, and I'll just migrate between I want to do a couple of portrait pictures, and then I'll do something. You know, I'll do my vision of a painting. You know, without, you know, my creative work of my imagination. And yeah, so you know, but yeah, I don't think I'd be doing a religious theme. Yeah, I don't think that's in the cards. Yeah, I sort of have an idea of the dichotomy, though. I was thinking of, you know, I always use in metaphors the idea of a 5 or 7-year-old girl or something, some perfect little innocent thing. And I was thinking of doing the profile of some innocent, you know, some, you know, perfect beauty kind of thing, and then have the two sides, you know, blend out of that. So the thing is here, and the world is tied into that thing, and so you'd have the two worlds of the very darkest, and the idea of these fake hopes, and the harsh, dismal reality, as these, you know, the dichotomy, or the good versus evil kind of crap, without the good versus evil, without the explicit metaphor, but more like a subtle statement, just recognizing, you know, somehow indicating, not that life has got good, but that the good is at this price of the bad. You know, something maybe to indicate that one thing is the price for the other thing, and that the whole thing is sold, you know, through a mechanism of beauty and innocence, that gives us this idea of hope and purpose, but it's not really there. It's just this perception of hope and purpose, a wish, a wanting, but it doesn't have any integrity as a reality. It just has integrity as a fable. I've got a dent in the canvas there. Yeah, well, I won't worry about that. We're still there? Yeah, we're still there. I'm surprised. It's a long 25 minutes. What else? Yeah, I watched a couple of movies, so I want to talk about them maybe in the next video, so then people know it's going to be a spoiler video. You know, there's a couple of movies that I saw that are, you know, they're all disappointing. I mean, I have to, you know, I'm just amazed at how disappointing movies really have become. The stories are so contrived, and it's like they don't do any work at all to hide, you know, the heavy-handedness of the messages even, and you know, they just just don't fool me anymore. Like I can watch an old movie and get kind of lost in it, and it's like they don't do any work to make that possible anymore. You know, where you're going to be fooled. I just keep seeing the movie. I keep seeing the production. I don't see the genuineness of it. I just see them manipulating